Hi, my name is Madison Bowling, and this is my presentation on serving homeless library patrons in Baltimore, Maryland. As an introduction, again, my name is Madison Bowling. I am currently a library services supervisor at McKeldin Library, University of Maryland College Park, and I am obviously a current MLIS student as well. The population that I have decided to focus on, as you can see from the title, is the homeless population of Baltimore City, Maryland, and I'm focusing on Enoch Pratt Free Libraries as well and how they're helping this population. Now, I was actually born in Baltimore City and I've lived there quite a bit growing up, so this population is near and dear to my heart as I have also had people in my family experience homelessness. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about their information needs and wants and how libraries can help. So, a brief disclaimer: population data for people experiencing homelessness is a particular challenge to gather. So, these statistics are really hard since there is a lack of permanent residency. So, what I'm going to be going off of for this presentation is the point in time count, and you'll see me refer to this later as the PIT count. Um, the point in time count is a snapshot of those experiencing homelessness on one night only on odd years. The data is captured by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and it is usually captured in January, and we're going off of the 2023 PIT count this year. On a single night in 2023, 653,104 people were experiencing homelessness in the US alone. Now, 71.5% of these people experiencing homelessness were individual adults. We do see families, couples, all sorts of groups of people experiencing this as well, but the vast majority in the US are individual adults. In the United States, chronic homelessness is also on the rise, with nearly double the amount of people experiencing chronic homelessness in 2023 than they were in 2016. Though homelessness in women is on the rise as well, 61% of people experiencing homelessness in 2023 were men. And we'll talk about this more on the next slide as well, but due to systemic exclusion and discrimination, people of color are much more likely to be experiencing homelessness. I have some numbers, exact numbers listed below that you can read yourself, but systemic exclusion and discrimination have led to higher percentages of communities of color experiencing homelessness. Homelessness is absolutely a racial justice issue due to BIPOC communities being consistently left out of housing, education, employment, and wealth building conversations, therefore making it way more difficult to access financial resources as well as safe and secure housing. Now, these are some statistics in Baltimore, Maryland. On a single night in 2023, 1,627 people experienced homelessness in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, these numbers are actually going significantly down. They're trending in a decreasing way throughout all of Maryland and in Baltimore as well. Now, throughout 2023, 2,323 people were accommodated in shelters across the city. This is not coming from the PIT count. This is coming from Baltimore statistics alone. So this is throughout the year rather than on the single night. And homelessness affects 29 out of every 10,000 people in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, I would love to go into the information needs and wants of this population. I have separated them into three categories for our project today. And the three categories I want to talk about are internet access, government programs and medical information, and then community and entertainment. So, one of the largest information needs across this population is access to the internet. We are living in a completely digital age, and we've talked about in this class the digital divide and how that is affecting our populations. But if you do not have a personal phone or computer with internet access, you are essentially left in the cold right now in today's age. And unfortunately, that is usually the case for most of the homeless population. Not all, of course, this population is not one size fits all, as no population is, but the majority of people do not have a personal computer or access to the internet in a personal way as much as they would need to be in this digital age. Now, government programs are extremely sought after for people experiencing homelessness, whether this is advertising different food banks or community wellness programs with medical, legal, and government information. These things are all very imperative for the well being of homeless individuals. And I really want to focus on the humanization of homeless individuals. Oftentimes, there are a lot of stigmas that lead people experiencing homelessness to feel extremely dehumanized. Now, I have heard this from people I know who have experienced homelessness and throughout a lot of articles that I've read for this project. But I really want to focus on the fact that individuals experiencing homelessness are people. They are just like you and me, and they have the same needs as we do, as well as other added needs due to their situation. So I wanted to focus on community, socialization, and entertainment as base needs that everyone deserves to have met. Now, some barriers to information access that people experiencing homelessness face. The majority of things I want to talk about today come down to non inclusive policies. This isn't just for libraries, this is for all public places. But a lot of public places have alienating policies that include restrictions such as no sleeping, no body odor that could be disturbing to other either customers or patrons, or no suitcases with you at times. That can be severely impactful for people who are unhoused, who may need to carry a lot more of their stuff with them just for safety reasons, who may need a safe place to sleep, who might not have had access to a shower in a little while. They still have every single right and access to information that we have. And these policies can make it extremely hard for them to feel comfortable to seek out information in these public places. This leads to, of course, stigma. It's really challenging to want to seek out information when all of these policies are creating these different horrible feelings and, again, that dehumanizing aspect. This also leads to another issue that I want to talk about, which is privacy for sensitive information needs. A lot of the things that people are seeking out who are unhoused has to deal with sensitive information, and that might not be something you want to talk about or be comfortable discussing in public. So, privacy is a really big issue. Another thing is lack of physical advertising and promotions. With little to no access to private internet, when programs are only advertised online, it can be really difficult for people experiencing homelessness to have that same information that the rest of the populations do. These all kind of come back to non inclusive policies, but I wanted to really touch on them as well. My recommendations for this population: community assistance. Government programs have had a really positive impact on many people experiencing homelessness. When libraries can spread the word of these programs or bring community professionals into the library to help in a face to face way, that can really help connect this community to the resources they need. And a lot of people experiencing homelessness have expressed they'd rather speak about information needs face to face rather than look online. Again, I wanted to touch on print based promotion. When asked about the best way to spread information to people experiencing homelessness, many people expressed a need for more physical promotion, whether this is utilizing posters, bulletin boards within libraries, or providing brochures for different events and programs. We can attempt to meet this population where they are with this print based promotion. I also wanted to touch on job hunting. So, employment assistant plays a big role in helping people experiencing homelessness gain financial freedom. So, events geared towards job interviews, resume help, or just having a source of entry level positions can be a really great way to help out as well. Now, abolishing exclusive policies is the main thing I want to talk about today. Libraries really need to reconsider and get rid of some of the policies in place that may be alienating homeless patrons. Restricting sleep in libraries can be something that can make homeless patrons feel unsafe and unwelcome, as well as these policies against body odor and cleanliness. When libraries must prioritize safety for their patrons, this should also include safety for homeless patrons. When policies are in place that restrict these things, it can feel dehumanizing, exclusive, and often enforcing that stigma that homeless patrons should not be patronizing libraries, which is absolutely not true. Public internet access is a necessity for all library patrons, but especially for patrons experiencing homelessness. By advertising public Wi Fi for not only library devices, but also hotspots, that can be really helpful for this population. And again, having private study areas and computers for sensitive information needs is a really important part of library information meeting. Including meeting rooms for reference questions and programs can also help patrons to feel comfortable seeking out that face to face assistance that is known to be helpful. I wanted to include a slide on the social impact programs that are already available at Enoch Pratt Free Library. You can read about these on your own time as well, but I wanted to leave those up for you to take a look at. These are Wellness at the Pratt, Housing Navigators, Lawyer in the Libraries, and the Pratt Free Market. Now, to conclude, homeless library patrons face stigma and exclusion in many ways, which should be considered in library policymaking and program development. Resources for people experiencing homelessness can obviously vary, but including print promotions, public internet access, and directed programs with face to face assistance is crucial to serving our community in the manner that they deserve. Overall, patrons experiencing homelessness have a right to information access. They have information needs such as socialization and entertainment, like all patrons, and should be treated with empathy and the same level of professionalism. Thank you for watching my presentation. I hope that together we can kind of work towards a place where the stigma and dehumanization of people who are unhoused or experiencing homelessness is no longer so prevalent in libraries. But it's something that's very close to my heart and very near and dear to a lot of us, I know. And I just wanted to take this time to talk about my recommendations for better service for this population. I also am linking my references. This is the first page of my references that you can look through at the end of this as well, and my second page. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your day.